China's economy is in bad shape. Evergrande, ever heard of it? China is just a bubble waiting to burst, and it may take the entire world economy with it. Hey guys, the Chinese economy is in bad shape. The government is trying to control the situation, but it's not clear how successful they will be. The Chinese stock market is in free fall, and the currency is under pressure. This is a major problem for the global economy, and it's not clear how it will be resolved. Today, we examine how the Chinese economy is in bad shape. The Chinese economy is slowing down as a result of the country's adaptation to a harsh strategy known as zero COVID and declining demand on a global scale. The goal of Beijing, which was an annual growth rate of 5.5%, is no longer attainable, despite the fact that officials have minimized the importance of meeting the target. In the quarter spanning April to June, China's economy came dangerously close to contracting. Some economists do not anticipate any kind of growth for this year. Although the nation does not have to contend with significant inflation like the United States and the United Kingdom do, it does have other issues to deal with. What was once the factory of the world has all of a sudden discovered less clients for its products, both domestically and globally. Growth is also being hampered by escalating trade conflicts between big economies like the United States and China. As a result of the yuan's continued weakness relative to the dollar, it is on track to have its worst year in decades. Investors are put off by a weak currency, which contributes to increased uncertainty in the financial markets. In addition to this, it makes it more challenging for the central bank to inject money into the economy. All of this is occurring at a time when the stakes are exceptionally high for President Xi Jinping since he is in his third term for the leadership of China. So, what exactly is it that is going wrong? Beijing has taken action, and in August it launched a plan to stimulate small enterprises, infrastructure, and real estate investments totaling 1 trillion yuan, or $203 billion. However, governments can do much more to stimulate expenditure in order to achieve their growth goals and generate jobs. This includes making larger investments in infrastructure, lowering the requirements for obtaining a loan for home buyers, property developers, and local governments, and providing tax incentives for individual households. Economic activity across all sectors is suffering as a result of COVID outbreaks in multiple cities, including manufacturing centers like Shenzhen and Tianjin. People are also spending less money on things like food and beverages, retail, and tourism, which puts a strain on essential services. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, there was an apparent increase in the amount of factory activity during the month of September in the manufacturing sector. There is a possibility that the resurgence is the result of increased government spending on infrastructure. However, this development occurred after a period of 2 months during which manufacturing did not expand, and because of this, issues have been raised, particularly in light of the fact that a private poll revealed that manufacturing activity did, in fact, decrease in September, with demand having an impact on output, new orders, and employment. As a result of higher interest rates, rising inflation, and the conflict in Ukraine, demand has also decreased in nations such as the United States. There is risk involved for Xi Jinping from zero COVID. The consensus among economic experts is that Beijing may make additional efforts to stimulate the economy, but there is little need to do so until the period of zero COVID ends. Undoubtedly, the slowdown in growth may be attributed to the lackluster performance of the housing market, specifically the real estate industry. This has had a significant negative impact on the economy due to the fact that the real estate sector and the other industries that contribute to it account for up to a third of China's GDP. Homebuyers have been reluctant to make mortgage payments on unfinished projects, and many of them have expressed skepticism over the likelihood that their homes will ever be finished. The decrease in demand for newly built homes has resulted in a lower requirement for the importation of commodities used in the building industry. In spite of Beijing's efforts to prop up the real estate market this year, property prices have fallen by more than 20% in dozens of cities across the country. As a result of the pressure that has been placed on property developers, analysts believe that the authorities may need to take a far more active role in restoring confidence in the real estate market. The ongoing regulatory onslaught on China's IT titans, which has been going on for the past 2 years, is not helping the situation. The most recent quarter marked the first time that Tencent and Alibaba experienced a decline in sales. Tencent's profits dropped by 50%, and Alibaba's net income dropped by 50%. The downturn in China's real estate industry is having a devastating impact on the country's economic expansion. Tens of thousands of young workers have lost their jobs, contributing to the unemployment crisis that currently affects 1 in 5 people between the ages of 16 and 24. Over the long term, this could be detrimental to China's growth and productivity. Investors are also becoming aware of a shift in Beijing, where some of China's most successful private enterprises are coming under increased scrutiny as Mr. Xi's hold on power grows. Additionally, investors from other countries are pulling their money out of the market because it appears that state-owned businesses are gaining favor. While Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway is selling its share in electric vehicle manufacturer BYD, the Japanese company SoftBank successfully extracted a significant sum of cash from Alibaba. Just in the second half of this year, Tencent had more than $7 billion worth of capital removed from the company. Moreover, the United States of America is increasing pressure on Chinese companies that are listed on the stock market in the United States. The international community is getting acclimated to the idea that it's possible Beijing isn't as open for business as it used to be. Nonetheless, Xi is putting at risk the economic success that has propelled China forward in the last few decades. China's manufacturing sector is beginning to feel the long-term effects of recent severe weather. In the month of August, the province of Sichuan in the southwest and the city of Chongqing in the central belt had a severe heat wave, which was then followed by a drought. In a region that almost totally depends on hydropower, an increase in the demand for air conditioning caused the electrical grid to become overwhelmed. Many factories, including big manufacturers such as Tesla and Foxconn, which makes the iPhone, were forced to reduce their hours of operation or shut down entirely. According to the China Statistics Agency, profits in the iron and steel industry alone were down by more than 80% in the first 7 months of 2022, compared to the same time period in the previous year. In the end, Beijing came to the aid of struggling energy corporations and farmers by contributing tens of billions of dollars to the relief effort. The economy of China and its equity market are currently both subject to a great deal of uncertainty. The market requires some time to process the recent news, and there will be some turbulence in the near future. On the other hand, it appears that the current pessimism is at least somewhat reflected in the value of the market. The consensus of the trading indexes is quite poor. Additionally, accommodative monetary and fiscal policies are on the way, and these policies should provide downside support to Chinese stock prices. This is especially important taking into consideration the fact that other major developed markets are still in the midst of rate hike cycles. In the future, further easing of the zero-COVID policy will be the most important factor in rebuilding both business and consumer confidence in the Chinese economy. The investors' attention will also be focused on the policy direction regarding the property sector. In conclusion, the Chinese economy is definitely the one to look out for. Combined with the real estate bubble and the recent stock market crash, there are many factors which could lead to a crash in the near future. This in turn will affect the economy of every other country in the world. We will just have to wait and see what the response of Beijing and other countries will be. What are your thoughts? Will China's economy collapse? Or is there hope at the end of the tunnel? Tell me in the comments section below. Additionally, if you're new to this channel, I strongly encourage you to subscribe and click the like button. You can also keep up with all of my most recent videos. See you in the next one.